nights or any night. Upside Bar and Lounge. 29th and
Alexa, 937 the ticket.
Okay. Playing 93.7 the ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza. The big one. All the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit OakStreetCarpet.com or our store. We'll answer questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor at Just Days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all. 1732 Oak Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
This is the happy hour.
You guys want a happy hour?
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America.
Yeah, I'll go for a couple.
Here are your hosts, Nick Sainer.
I want to know what it's like to commit a crime without having to spend time in jail.
And Enrique Alvarez Clip.
For junk.
Brought to you by Emire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Good afternoon. Happy Monday. This is the happy hour. 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Sainer joining you. No Rico today. He is up visiting family, I believe, in the northern parts of Nebraska. So Austin Orman will join me here in just a moment. But I want to definitely break down the show before we get things rolling. As always, you can chime in 402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline, and the Starter Heyman text line will be open for you guys the entire way here, as well as the Starter Heyman Jewelers video stream. Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Outlook 951 are all available to you as well. Now we welcome in Austin. What's up, man?
Not much. How's it going? How we
Good.
doing, y'all?
Good. How was the weekend?
Great. Trying to think what I did this weekend.
Not a whole lot.
Well, we had the Salt Dogs game on Friday.
Good.
We built a crib on Saturday.
We'll get down to that time.
Got that put together. Yeah, had a good time with Ricky last night, and family's in town. So saw them this morning before popping over here, and we'll see them again tomorrow.
Good stuff. All right, gearing up for 4th of July. We have a very special guest. It's a loaded show today. We have a show full of a couple guests, and it's going to go quick. So there's no reason not to just get right into it. This one, special guest, her name's Olivia Farrell, and you might recognize her from her days of playing Husker softball, but now you will know her as Husker softball's newest full-time assistant coach. Olivia, appreciate you coming on. Has it sunk in yet that you are not a player? You're not a grad manager or grad assistant, but now you're a full-time assistant coach.
Hi, Nick. It's good to hear from you. No, it has not. Today is my first official day in the office, so this is kind of helping, I would say. But even right now, it's still kind of me walking around trying to figure out what role I need to fill, and that'll kind of come with time. But no, I do. Luckily, I get to leave tomorrow already to go out and recruit some future Huskers, and so I think that might kind of help things fit in a little bit more.
Now, I see since you brought it up, and we're talking to Olivia Farrell, played for the Husker softball team from 2018 to 2022. Won a Big Ten title in 2022. She then moved into a grad assistant role in the 2023 season, and then just late last week got announced as the Huskers' third full-time assistant. Now, Olivia, you mentioned you're going out tomorrow on the road recruiting, and I've seen Husker softball just throughout social media post where their coaches are going. I know Coach Ravel was in Colorado last week. Where are you heading out tomorrow?
I'm heading to Chicago with Coach
Awesome.
Miller.
Awesome.
Yes,
That's
so I'm
great.
very excited.
Now, I guess backing up a few steps, walk us through some of these conversations that were had. I'm sure this is a thing that has been discussed for a couple weeks, maybe even months now. I mean, just talk about some of the conversations that you had throughout the season with Coach Rhonda Ravel and kind of just how this whole entire thing took shape.
Right. Well, so since I played my fifth year, that's when I started my master's. Because normally when you do a GA position, you would have be there for 2 years because of your master's program. But since I played my fifth year, my GA position was only going to be a year long, which is kind of short to try and learn as much as you can before you go out and get a real coaching job. And so there had been discussion. Okay, is there something we don't want to get rid of you yet, Liv? Like a year doesn't seem like long enough. So is there going to be something we can maybe do? Try and start a new master's. So you could go for your second year of grad. We're trying to spitball some things. And then the NCAA had put on the table that maybe they were going to pass that there'd be a fourth full-time paid coach in January. And so as that kind of got out, I was like, well, Coach Revelle, what about this?
Yeah.
And so we had kind of started discussing that as a potential option. But at the same time, it was on a BS Nebraska decided to fund the position because some universities can opt to just not fund it. And so lucky enough that I'm part of such a great athletic department, and we were able to write up a proposal for why we need me to stay here and work. And so they approved the position. And so we had kind of found out, the Coach Revelle had, talked to me about, okay, let's make this happen. And that was probably all the way back in February. And then once we kind of got the ball rolling, let's get this approved. We got it approved, and we were off and running.
We're talking to Olivia Farrell, assistant coach for Husker softball. And Liv, I guess now that it's official, three full-time assistants.
Mm-hmm.
They did that in both softball and baseball. And I guess just how big of a boost can that give a program and their players having three full-time assistant coaches?
Right. No, it's going to be really helpful. Just from recruiting standpoint, it takes a lot of effort and time to be able to recruit, especially at these types of I can't speak directly for baseball, but I'm sure it's pretty similar. But these tournaments all summer long is when it can be quite the task. And so even just having me as an extra person out on the road that's eligible to recruit, because before this, you had to be accountable coach. So me being able to get out there and get another set of eyes, because they could sometimes, like the Colorado tournaments, they're huge. There could be 3 to 4 fields going at a time at different complexes across certain cities. And so having another set of eyes and hands to kind of get some of that stuff done, and then on the field, being able to have another person that is able to coach. Because as a GA, I could participate in practice, but I couldn't technically coach during practice times. So just having that where I can maybe, Miller's doing something with the hitters, I can with the catchers. Or, Sipple needs something, me to go in the outfield while she's maybe running the bullpen, I can go do that. So I'm just really here to try and fill any need that needs to be filled, since the other coaches have all the responsibilities they've already had. Now I kind of just fill in where we might need to grow or add to a little bit.
I mean, there's been a lot of changes for you and for the program the last 2 years since you stopped. You graduated as a player and kind of transitioned in a coach and a mentor, if you will, for some of the players. Talk about that adjustment that had to be made, and it's still going on, because it was no longer teammate Olivia. It was Coach Liv now.
Yeah, that I am very thankful for the girls. They did a great job. They could have made it hard on me for sure. Trying to ask me questions or get me to say some things. But they were awesome. They really helped with that transition, because it definitely could have been really hard trying to keep that that fine line between, okay, guys, I'm now your coach / no longer just the teammate. I still have very close relationships, especially going to be our senior class. I played with them for 2 years, and so I still have very close relationships with them. But it hasn't been too bad. Just making sure that I'm still being professional and being their coach. But I definitely say my last year playing, I was a captain, and so that came with some of that extra leadership. So they kind of saw me within that light already, and so that kind of helped as well, where I wasn't just messing around all the time. They always kind of saw me in that light, and so that kind of helped with the transition too.
We're speaking to Olivia Farrell. She was announced as Husker softball's newest full-time assistant coach, a deal that the NCAA passed in January, that the softball and baseball teams would be able to have a third full-time paid assistant coach on their staff previously. It was just 2, and then you could have volunteer coach as well. Liv played and graduated 2022. She was Big Ten title winner in 2022. She was second team All Big Ten in 2022. Liv, now looking at once again your coaching career, obviously you're learning from one of the best to do it in the athletic department right now, and Rhonda Revelle has close to 1,100 wins, if I remember correctly. Just how much have you learned, not necessarily as a player, because that was from 2018 to 2022, but now in the coaching side of things, in the coaching world, in a short amount of time, how much have you learned from Rhonda Revelle, and just kind of what are a couple things?
Yeah, no, I mean, I've had the privilege to be able to not only get to play in a coach role, but like you said, she's been my mentor in this coaching world already, and she already knows that my path is probably towards being a head coach. So she definitely is making sure to help me fill in with some of that kind of things as well, because there is different responsibilities that come with being a head coach compared to an assistant. Luckily, since she always knew I kind of wanted to be a coach, so even in some of my 5 years of playing, she would sprinkle some things in, about, well, you're going to want to remember that when you were a coach, or just how to manage a team, I would say is kind of a big thing that I've tried to pick up from her, because, on field things, I'm there at practice every day. I'm thinking through the game all the time, like how we're, what the drills are, the drills and, the bullpens and everything. That's something that I've been learning for 5 years. But the things more behind the scenes of, okay, why are we structuring practice like this in January compared to how we're going to structure it in May? And, making sure we're still being involved with strength and conditioning and nutrition, and making sure, okay, well, how is that going to dictate how practice needs to be run? And then, Coach, like I said, with the head coaching side, there's a lot of administrative work that goes into play, and how many people you're going to be talking to, and, making sure that you're supporting all of your staff and making them all feel heard and just recognized. That's a huge thing in our program. We want everyone to feel like they're a part of our team and part of our culture. And so there's a lot of little, nuances and things that, we do around here to try and make everyone feel like they're having an impact on our program. But those are just a few, but I learned a new thing from her every single day, and the other coaches as well. I mean, Miller, I'm going to be helping her with hitting and the catchers this year to help, because she also runs the recruiting. So me and her kind of be tied to the hip a little bit, and then obviously Sipple in the bullpens, because I am a pitcher at heart, obviously. Exactly. And so trying to be able to still work with her and learn from her on just, okay, how are you seeing a pitcher? So just because she released one way, that actually could have dictated something that happened at the very beginning of her pitch. So I learned something from them every single day. So I'm very blessed to be under this coaching staff, and they have so many years together, and just showing that how they are able to work with the staff now for however many years they're the longest tenured coaching staff in Division I softball. Wow. And so it's just seeing how they even just have kept a healthy working staff and culture over all these years is really impressive.
Now, when you look at Nebraska's program right now, kind of, and just college softball in general, they had a really good year. College softball, I mean, on the bigger scope. Obviously, you had a lot of eyeballs on the Women's College World Series, but Nebraska themselves were just a couple wins shy of their second straight 40-win season. Obviously, you guys had 40-plus wins in 2022. I think you guys finished around 36 wins, and you finished in a regional final in that darn Stillwater Regional again. I mean,
I know.
just talk about just the season overall, and kind of just how excited you are to continue.
No, I mean, the team last year, they competed their butts off. I think the biggest things, we had some, we had injuries, we had some bang-ups, but I don't know if everyone, obviously KK was injured. She was one of our main pitchers, so that kind of hurt us when it came to that. Even Court had to throw a lot, and then Sarah, she had her innings, which was great. But losing a pitcher, especially when the game has become such a more of a staff-based game, it's not, you don't usually just see one pitcher throwing every inning these days. And so I think that was a big thing. And then we just had, we lost a freshman to a torn ACL. And then just throughout the season, we just had some bang-ups that didn't necessarily get publicized, but it's still, it still affects the team. It still affects the player. And so I think the way that we were able to fight, and we just kept coming and coming no matter what, and we're still able to get to the regional, still able to fight to a regional final, which we didn't even, yeah, we won the Big Ten the year before, but we didn't reach the regional final. So the fact that we were still able to grow and still able to work on some things in kind of a hard environment, I would say last year, just with a couple of those setbacks. I was really proud of the team, and that's just going to propel us forward for this year. I'm so excited for this year. You know, obviously, we're getting some transfers,
Yes.
which can definitely help. But I think our team and our Nebraska culture was timed for this. We've been building these past couple years, and we were about to have a big season anyway. This is just going to kind of help us with our depth in our competition. And so I'm really excited to see what the team does, and then our coaching staff. We're ready to go. We have Mandy Nocita. She is our video, and she's adding player development to her title, and she was just added last year. And a lot of our support staff is great. So I'm really excited for our program as a whole to really take that next step.
All right, Liv. Last one before we go ahead and let you go. I gotta dig a little deeper here with since we can officially talk about her. I mean, we can't just skip over Jordy Ball right now. Now
Right.
I want to make it very, very clear. 8 of 9 starters we're going to return to begin with for you guys for the red team next year. So, like you said, you were poised for success already. But as a pitcher at heart, like you mentioned just a couple minutes ago, what does Jordy do so well that just allows her to dominate at the highest level here?
Right. You know, I think obviously the number one thing is her competitive nature. She just comes out and she's going to fight to the end no matter what's going on. You wouldn't know if she was having an A day or a C day because she's going to fight tooth and nail. She's going to compete. She loves the big moments. The bigger it is, the better she gets. And you know, everyone can see that on TV and can see, you know, how the fire in her eyes, and she's ready to go. And I think that's going to be great for our program. We have a lot of competitors, but I think to have another part and another piece of that is just going to keep adding. And then she just has nasty late sharp movement. That's what makes her so hard to hit. And she has, you know, she has 2 speeds. She has 2 different speeds. They're off speeds and nasty, and she can go up and down. So she's just, you know, she's an overall pitcher. She's an overall player. And she can hit a little bit too. So, you know, she's great. And the thing is, especially with Jordy, it's like, yes, she's a great player. But she's an even better person. You know, I've known Jordy for many years. And so I think that's kind of what I'm really happy about for her. She can come home and she can really be happy as a person. And, you know, she really wants to keep the game of softball growing, especially in Nebraska and these young girls. And you can obviously see that it's already starting to explode. And, you know, little girls are going to, you know, want to grow up and play Nebraska softball, which is, you know, what we care about, especially the coaching staff. We want to keep this game growing and keep Nebraska softball growing. And she's, you know, obviously really helping with that aspect.
You want to talk about growing exposure? I mean, Bowlin Stadium is 2,500 seats in and around that. And can you even wrap your head around the season ticket request list right now and the realization that they're going to need to add more seats?
Yes, we you know, we might have talked about that a little bit this morning.
Okay.
I know that the event planning and our fan experience committee are definitely looking into that. I don't know all the details, but you know, they're gonna do their best to accommodate every fan that would like to come see us play, because that's the biggest thing. We want to grow the game. We want people excited to come watch Nebraska softball. So we're gonna get Bowlin ready to the best of our ability, and hopefully everyone that wants to come see Nebraska softball can come watch.
Well, that's the thing is Bowlin was already, I mean, a really good environment, and you know about it too. And so to just elevate it, that's going to be just huge for the Big Ten. I remember talking to you guys a couple years ago when you guys were getting ready for the Big Ten tournament. And it was like, why isn't the Big Ten tournament held in Lincoln? I like the facilities are there, the fan engagement is there. I think it's just it seems like it's too good to be true. And I don't know why the Big Ten tournament hasn't been held at Bowlin yet.
Yeah, hopefully pretty soon. I know that with softball for sure, it's on kind of a rotating list. It's alphabetical on who gets to host, and then if they're not capable, because like there's some schools that if they have like all turf infield, they can't host.
Oh, interesting.
Yes, and so because it has to fit like a regional site or a super regional site, it has to be all the same. Okay. And like having an all turf infield is more of the minority than the majority. So it kind of works like that. It has to be like an even playing field. So, or if there's a place that they don't have the capacity for seating and things like that, they might get skipped on the list. I don't exactly know, but we're sitting on the list right now. So hopefully maybe pretty soon we'll be able to host the Big Ten tournament, because I think that would be, you know, Nebraska and Lincoln, we always do a pretty good job of hosting big events like that. And we can bring in a large crowd, and it would really help, you know, our businesses in downtown and things like that. So I think if the Big Ten tournament could come to Nebraska for softball, they wouldn't be let down. That's for sure.
All right, Liv. Hey, I'm glad that you got to this point. Super excited for you guys, and obviously, hopefully, you start settling in here in the next 24 hours. Because I hope you have a safe travels to Chicago for your good recruiting trip.
Thank you so much, Nick. I really appreciate it.
That is Olivia Farrell, Husker softball's newest assistant coach. Was announced late last week, I believe Thursday or Friday. It was Friday because we were at Haymarket Park when it was announced. So that's Olivia Farrell, played for the Huskers from 2018 to 2022. Just a really, really good person, and definitely has had her experiences as a player, but now gets to start making those experiences as a coach, and certainly seems to be on the right track for that.
She's seen it all in her time in college. I mean, clearly has a great relationship with the coaching staff. It's awesome to hear how she talked about, you know, her conversations with, you know, the coaches already on staff about maybe folding into that role. And then these players who are her teammates, you know, how they helped her. Like they said, they could have made her life terrible, you know, razzed her, given her a hard time, not listened to her. Oh, we listened to you for, 5 years. We've heard enough from you. Yeah. But no, I think that's a huge testament to the culture that Coach Ravel and the rest of the staff has built in that team, that someone could just take that next step up that easily.
I think there's a lot of excitement. Well, I know there's a lot of excitement for next February, because this team, as we mentioned with our conversation with Olivia Farrell, Coach Farrell now, that you're going to have to get there early and get your tickets ahead of time, and they're going to probably add more seats, and there's going to be a lot of excitement, and rightfully so, surrounding this Husker softball team, because with or without Jordy Ball, this team was going to be another NCAA regional caliber type of team. Now, Jordy Ball obviously just elevates that, which should excite Husker fans quite a bit more as well. So once again, thanks to Olivia Farrell for joining us on the Allo VIP line, 402-464-5685. The Starter Heyman text line, the Honda of Lincoln hotline is the place for you guys to chime into the show all hour long. Austin Norman in for Rico. Rico's out of town for the holiday. But we have about 30 minutes left in our show before we send you guys off to On the Block, and we continue things on July 3rd, 402-464-5685. Once again, the phone number to get in contact with the show. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. Happy Hour 93.7 The Ticket.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirit, and cigars at 5040 North 27th Street. From top shelf liquor to crowd favorite beer, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 North 27th Street.
Arnold's Tavern in Havelock is the place to be this summer, and the best place in town for shuffleboard. Come on Wednesdays and learn some of the best players in town for the shuffleboard corner for just $5, and get your first drink on the house. Come on Sundays, open house league all day starting at 11 a.m. and enjoy $3 tall boys and $3 wells. Happy hour is every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and you are always welcome to bring in your own food. Arnold's Tavern in the heart of Havelock.
If you want all the latest technology, those big banks, but you also want that hometown feel when you walk in the front doors, choose Notch Technology. They make banking so easy, and they also have the friendliest staff who will take their time to get to know you and treat you like family. You get the best of both worlds when you choose Midwest Bank. On the go now, I can bank on the go. With Midwest Bank, I have everything I need at my fingertips. I'm volleyball player Allie Batenhorst, and at Midwest Bank, you'll love banking here.
Sunday morning. It's quiet, not in a weird, too quiet way. Calm, peaceful, tranquil. You pour yourself that cup of coffee. You slice yourself a hearty chunk of one of Beatrice Bakery's breakfast breads. Now, maybe you're an apple streusel guy. Nothing wrong with that. I can respect that. Personally, I'm a turtle nut man. Something about those pecans. But the real ones know, don't sleep on that date nut bread. Sweet, but not too sweet. Nutty, not overly, the perfect morning treat. Beatrice Bakery, online at beatricebakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
Hi, everyone. Kendall Warnock with A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. If you're looking for an automotive repair facility you can genuinely trust, great for the opportunity to earn your business repairing your vehicle. See missions, vehicles from Hondas to Porsches, Jaguars to Toyotas, and Chevrolets to Fords. We pride ourselves on customer service and relationships, and we would be grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Give us a call, A1 Automotive. Always honest answers.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric is the call I make when I have a need for plumbing services. Whether it's for my home or office, if I need a repair to a water heater, softener, or even my garbage disposal, I know I can count on Action to help. In one simple call, their amazing customer service team promptly schedules a service call, often getting to my needs within a day. Action delivers on these. To learn more, visit actionlincoln.com.
America's been around since 1776. That's nothing. America's still just learning how to party. The Irish? The Irish have been doing it for thousands of years. Party the Irish way at McKinney's Irish Pub in the Haymarket. Got your favorite Irish beers on tap, along with all the locals and domestics. Plus great house cocktails, a huge selection of Irish whiskey, and the best Irish pub food in town. See the full menu and list of specials online at mckinneyspub.com. Or just head down there. Just Irish Pub in the Haymarket.
The sweet relief of air conditioning after a hot day in the summer sun. For only $2.88 a LES Power Life special moments air comfort. Learn more at l.com/value.
It's time to get the grill out for 4th of July celebrations. Make sure to load up on meat and more at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's specials through July 5th are $2 off all steakhouse burgers and hot dogs. Plus, big news, they have 2 new locations opening soon at 27th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln and 168th and Maple in Omaha, with soft openings in mid-July. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Gaina Trucking is and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
You deserve the best. With a Liberty First MasterCard, you can pay down your high-rate debt and could save hundreds when you transfer the balance. The Liberty First Credit Union MasterCard has no fee, no cash advance fee. So it's 9.99%. Choose rewards. You'll be able to manage your card your way. Visit libertyfirstcu.com. Rates and terms are based on your credit and subject to change. Federally insured by NCUA. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose.
Guys, it's that time again. Another 10-week challenge at Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping is starting on July 8th. I joined Farrell's a little over a year ago, and with their help, I've lost over 125 pounds and can confidently say I'm in the best shape of my life. The 10-week challenge combines kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition, and approach an achievable any skill, and plus get $150 off the cost of enrollment. Head to theticketfm.com and click on the banner on the homepage for more. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 70th and Vine or 40th and Yankee Hill.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
This is Bud Seinhorst, President and CEO of LIBA, the Lincoln Independent Business Association. Join us every Saturday from 9 to 10 a.m. on 93.7 The Ticket for the LIBA Business Hour, as we discuss local business and highlight those who are thriving in the Lincoln area. It's the LIBA Business Hour, Saturdays from 9 to 10 a.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and FM.com.
We're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert.
Even before you start. That was a preemptive shh.
and Enriquez Clary.
I already had someone created in my image. He's evil, he wants to take over the world, and he fits easily into most overhead storage bins.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into the happy hour, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Once again, Austin Orman filling in for Rico today. Thanks again to Olivia Farrell, newest Husker softball assistant coach, for taking time out of her probably now busier schedule than she's used to, as she is the third full-time assistant coach. We saw it now, obviously, with Husker baseball. They have incorporated that third full-time assistant, making Rob Childress pitching coach, and then hiring the guy from Wichita State,
Mike Sirianni.
Yes, Mike Sirianni. And so, anyway, and we saw it already start to pay off on the recruiting trail. They took a couple former Wichita State commits, or at the time were decommitments after Wichita State's head coach went to Washington State. And so it's just kind of, Washington State's head coach went
Came
to
to Wichita.
Yes, I apologize.
Can I
was
just
thrown off by that also.
Very weird. Can I just say I miss Wichita State being like consistently good at baseball and men's basketball like that.
Yeah.
That early 2010s Wichita State run was absolutely incredible.
The fun
I miss
things-
Ron Baker.
I was just going to say the fun
Clay
things
Anthony
about
Early.
Clay Anthony Early, obviously Fred VanVleet,
course.
who signed a bag to go to Houston.
Bag.
Just went to Houston. What was it? 4 years, 130 million.
30, yeah.
Or maybe it was even 3 years. I think
It was four.
It was four. So 4 years, 130 million. By the way, Delano Banton signed a 2-year contract with the Boston Celtics.
How about that?
Earlier today. So a little bit of some NBA moves. Still waiting to hear the update on James Harden. You expect him to probably leave Philadelphia at some point. So just a lot of changes over the last couple of days, including the ones at ESPN with a lot of the layoffs as well. But I want to go back to something that Olivia was saying beforehand. And we talked about how the new Big Ten commissioner, right? I asked Olivia a question towards the end of the conversation of why doesn't the Big Ten Conference allow Nebraska to host the Big Ten softball tournament? Because Bowling, in terms of softball stadiums and facilities, is as best as they come in the Big Ten Conference, and they're pretty measurable, other than maybe the lack of capacity. Like in terms of I should say, like, quality, it matches up well in the country.
Field's nice. The
Facility-wise.
amenities around it are nice, easy to get to. Obviously, it's incredible. And to be fair, Nebraska did host it once. It was back in 2013. Wisconsin, actually, your 2013 Big Ten softball champion at Bowling, but it hasn't been back since. And Olivia, obviously, being in the program, understands how it works. It's bounced around since it was in Lincoln. It's been in Evanston, Columbus, Happy Valley, Ann Arbor, Madison, Bloomington, East Lansing, and Champaign. So I think we're a handful of years away, from it being Nebraska's turn again. But imagine what it's going to look like with the additions. Even if they're not huge additions, but just that little bit more seating. You have a little bit better infrastructure in place to make it even easier than it already is, to get into and out of. You improve the amenities a little bit, and the team's rocking and rolling. It's going to be fantastic.
Oh, it's going to be such an exciting year this year. Also, knowing Nebraska fans, whether it's in Lincoln or whether it's in Evanston or whether it's Champaign or Bloomington, wherever it may be, if Nebraska has as quality of a softball team as we're expecting them to have, and I don't think that expectation is too high, right? With or without Jordy Ball, I want to make that very clear, that these fans will travel, especially let's also be honest, with the fan engagement and excitement level risen and rising for season ticket holders. More people will want to come to the ballpark. More people will learn more about this team. More people will want to continue to cheer on this team wherever they go. And maybe you have some new fans that say, you know what, let's make a trip to the Big Ten softball tournament. Nebraska, if they're in the top 4, they get a bye. if not 2. I can't remember how it's structured in the softball tournament. And they don't play till Thursday or Friday, and that becomes a much more feasible trip to where compared to like maybe the women's basketball tournament, right? If you want to cheer on women's sports, it becomes where Nebraska may have to play on a Wednesday, and you got to take 3 days off. Like so, there's ways that I think this Husker softball season can really get a group of fans to rally around themselves. Also, in a time where Husker baseball, you're going to be losing 2 of your marquee players in Max Anderson and Bryce Matthews. I don't know what yet to expect about Husker baseball come next spring.
Same.
So if Nebraska, sorry to interrupt, Austin, if Nebraska softball can maybe pick up some of the slack or really blaze a trail for Nebraska spring sports after what we hope to be an exciting football season, where we're encouraged potentially by a winter sports season with men's or women's basketball. If you can continue holding that torch in your Husker softball, that's even better for your program.
Absolutely. The quick baseball thought I had was this is hopefully not the same road that men's basketball went down, where I think you need to form a program, not just a different team from year to year. I get it. Lots of guys, come in the door, plenty of them leave. But at some point, you need that consistency, right? You need those 3 or 4 year guys to build something to, be that steadiness in the lineup and on the field, and then you supplement it. But I think that's a huge point for softball, like you were talking about, Coach Ravel's cap. These players, Nick, you return 8 of 9 starters. That's huge. That's continuity. That's a program right there. And I get it. Softball and baseball, the way they work after college isn't exactly the same. But in this day and age of the transfer portal, it would be so easy, to lose a few starters, to the transfer portal just because that's what happens. But it's a credit to Coach Ravel and the staff that the team is, still 8 of 9 starters intact at this point as for next year. And I think to your point on, the fans and traveling too, spark it at home. Then wherever the conference tournament is, there's Nebraska fans scattered at every little Big Ten outpost.
Yeah.
Draw them in, right? Wherever the tournament is, once you get there, the better you are, the more excited those fans there are going to be. And that's easier travel, from that little pocket to that venue than from Lincoln out there. So they're everywhere. You just got to activate.
That's one of the big boosts that unfortunately Husker baseball just hasn't been able to capitalize on yet, is that the Big Ten tournament's held in Omaha. It's held 39 miles away from Haymarket Park or whatever the specific number is. And you just haven't been able to capitalize on it, unfortunately, because the one year that you were able to, there was no tournament. Yeah, there was no tournament. You just won the regular season title, and you ended up making the regional that way.
I do also have to admittedly take the blame for Nebraska losing in the championship to Ohio State.
Okay.
At
Ohio State, correct?
No, in Omaha.
That was in Omaha. Okay.
Would have been 2019. Yeah, 2019. So I was on the board working the first game against Michigan. That Michigan beat Nebraska.
Okay.
I went to the second Michigan game that night with a few buddies. They won, and I was back on the board for the loss on Sunday. So I didn't do my part as a fan of the team. I let them down. I didn't follow superstition. That one's on me.
That's crazy. I forgot how wild this tournament was, because you had in the championship game, obviously, Nebraska and Ohio State.
Junk ball in the left.
Number 5 seed Nebraska and a number 7 seed the Ohio State Buckeyes. Nebraska defeated Michigan to make it to the semis, where they beat number 4 seeded Minnesota. But yeah, what do you know? Number 2 Michigan on Saturday, May 25th. Nebraska fell to Michigan 18-8, and then beat Michigan in the afternoon game 7-3.
There are some fireworks early in that one. Not huge, but there were some war of words in that one.
Yes. Yeah.
We were also sitting right behind the Michigan dugout, and it was awesome.
I bet.
It was awesome.
But no, so that's funny. Now, one thing I will say to wrap up the Husker softball conversation, it's been a really good one. Once again, thanks to Olivia Farrell. But to wrap up Husker softball conversation, I remember being at youth softball tournaments for my older sister. She was playing, and for all the folks out in the softball world, they'll know Doris Bear Complex on the north side of town. I remember hearing the buzz when there'd be a day that Rhonda Revelle would come out and just watch softball games. This is a thing where having the longest, I mean, as Coach Farrell said, the longest tenured Division I coaching staff in history when they've been all together. That is. Having that does pay dividends, because I remember at 10 years old being at Doris Bear watching and looking over and be like, oh, it's the Husker softball head coach. And then 2 years later, oh, she's still the Husker softball head coach. And now here we are in 2023, and she's going to be in her 32nd year, somewhere around there, and close to 1,100 wins. And so I think when you look at just everything that that Rhonda Revelle has been able to accomplish with some minor hiccups, right? It hasn't been all sunshine and rainbows through her tenure, but here she is, and she's going to have a really, really good squad next year that a lot of people, I think, are going to back come February and March, and maybe when they get their home opener finally in April after the weather warms up. So, all right,
more domes.
Yeah, more domes. We're pro dome. No, anyway, let's go ahead and take our final timeout. When we come back, we'll bring in the Husker Hall of Famer Eric Strickland. Husker football got a commit over the weekend. It's kind of gone a little under talked about. I don't know how much time we'll spend on it necessarily, but we'll kind of bring it up and then kind of get you guys ready for On the Block with Strick and Austin when we return here on the Happy Hour. We wrap up our final segment before we take a day breather for July 4th. We'll do that coming up next on the Happy Hour. 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com.
Too many people believe that chronic pain, allergies, or illness are permanent and something you're stuck with. Novotny Nutrition and Wellness has been proving that narrative wrong for 29 years and changing lives for the better in the process. Their team is trained in the newest, most advanced pain-relieving techniques and ways to deal with toxins, allergies, pollution, and emotion that make you ill. Call today for a free consultation at 531-54-5695 or go to NovotnyNutritionandWellness.com. Novotny Nutrition and Wellness, located at 7th and Superior.
The Nebraska Lottery presents one beautiful crazy scratch ticket and promotion. It's the $5 Living Lucky with Luke Combs scratch ticket with a $50,000 top prize. Enter non-winning Luke Combs scratch tickets for an opportunity to win a trip to Nashville, a private concert with Luke at the Ryman Auditorium, and a chance at $500,000. The Living Lucky with Luke Combs concert experience will hit you like a hurricane. Details at NELottery.com. Living Lucky with Luke Combs scratch ticket top prize odds 1 in 128,000.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out openings along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices. You don't think about your roof very often, but you should never take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes the highest quality roofing solution. Whether it's a new roof installation, roof repair, or re-roofing, our overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and a long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place too. Visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today.
All the latest technologies from those big banks, but you also want that hometown feel when you walk in the front doors. Choose Midwest Bank. They have top-notch technology. They make banking so easy, and they also have the friendliest staff who will take their time to get to know you and treat you like family. You get the best of both worlds when you choose Midwest Bank. I live on the go, and now I can bank on the go. With Midwest Bank, I have everything I need at my fingertips. I'm volleyball player Allie Batenhorst, and at Midwest Bank, you'll love banking here.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go!
Sunday morning. It's quiet, not in a weird, too quiet way. Calm, peaceful, tranquil. You pour yourself that cup of coffee. You slice yourself a hearty chunk of one of Beatrice Bakery's breakfast breads. Now, maybe you're an apple streusel guy. Nothing wrong with that. Personally, I'm a turtle nut man. Something about those pecans. But the real ones know, don't sleep on that date nut bread. Sweet, but not too sweet. Nutty, not overly. The perfect morning treat. Beatrice Bakery. Online at beatricebakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
If you're in Lincoln, Wavy, or the surrounding area, listen up. Select right the first time on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repair, fencing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. Plus, they're hiring service plumbers. If you're in Lincoln, Waverly, or the surrounding area, contact Select Plumbing 402-560-6197.
Beat the heat and make 4th of July truly monumental at Generation V.
Generation V.
This weekend, incredible deals that'll blow you away. Stock up on select disposables as low as $10 and enjoy 25% off all pet products.
Generation V.
July 1st through 4th, experience monumental savings up to 33% off mods, e-liquid, Delta 8, and more. Generation V with 16 Nebraska locations and a new location at 27th and Superior. GenerationV.com. Vapes contain nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture, not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
At Ascend Aesthetics, they understand that you want results, you want them fast. That's why they've developed the fastest weight loss and body toning programs that are clinically proven to shed extra fat, boost muscle mass, and tighten skin without having spent hours at the gym. Reveal your leaner physique, ignite your testosterone levels, and boost your energy with personalized plans tailored to your goals. Learn more at slimdowne.com or call 402-480-6680. Ascend Aesthetics, where transformation begins. Attention all Wings fans. 89 Cent are back on Buffalo Wings and Rings in Lincoln. Enjoy the best wings in town for boneless or traditional at a price that makes the whole family happy. And now with the Williamsburg Village Wing Rings, you can enjoy $1.50 boys from Bud Light, Coors Light, Busch Light, and Michelob Ultra every day after 7 p.m. and all day on Sunday. Get to Wings and Rings today and make sure to stop by on Tuesdays for 89 cents.
Hey, CNC machinists, do you feel like you're in a dead-end job with your boss hovering over your shoulder? That's so annoying. Not at Garner Industries. We provide the opportunity and trust our CNC machinists to bring the talent. I'm Bob Williams, HR Director at Garner Industries, and we are looking for new team members in our CNC department. At Garner Industries, you'll work in a clean, climate-controlled, and safe environment with team members who want to see you succeed. You will also enjoy 4-day work weeks, great benefits, and a positive working culture. Interested? Apply on our career page at GarnerIndustries.com.
Junior Achievement of Lincoln inspires and prepares young people for success. Learn more about the people involved in the organization and the success stories over the years that keep them Junior Achievement out.
You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Stainer.
Herbie the Fourth ate his first solid food today, prompting a response of nothing but steaks all week for the Nebraska offensive line.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
No more peaches and carrots for Herbie the Seventh. Baby food be damned.
Sponsored by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back here one final time on a Monday. Thanks again to Olivia Farrell. Thanks to Austin for filling in for Rico. And appreciate you guys. We welcome in Eric Strickland and Austin Norman now. What's up, guys?
I'm still here. How you doing, Stricky?
I'm still sore.
Still sore from BP.
Yo, well,
where are you sore?
I'm sore.
Upper,
in
lower?
my like rib and core area.
Okay.
My hips are still like. I just took yesterday and just stretched. It was no bueno. It was no bueno. Sleeping on my left side, I was struggling. Like I woke up in the middle of the night, like, wait a minute, what's going on over here? But it also, I can say golf. You got a chance to get out,
hit a golf ball with University of Omaha coach Chris Crutchfield. Went out to Shadow Ridge. He can play, but he struggled a little bit that day. It rained on us, man. We got about 12 holes, and it just started dropping. I was playing pretty good. I think
Did you go out during that huge storm?
Yeah, we got 12 in before it dropped, so it started kind of hitting, and they wanted to sit out at the kind of the turn where you can stop and get some snacks and so forth. There's like this out. It's out.
Yeah,
It's not at the clubhouse. They wanted to do that, and I said, bro, listen. We would be better. I'm looking at the radar like I have on my phone. I'm looking at the radar and I'm like, this thing is hovering. I'm like, we'd be better if we just go back, sit in there, watch some PGA, have a couple cocktails and see what it does. Man, that was the best move we made. I tell you, for a good hour, it was just.
It didn't stop.
It was just dropping. Bro. Yeah. So
good call, Strick.
Yeah. They were like, yeah, good call, Strick.
How'd you play on Saturday?
Well, until we got off, I shot a 43 on the front, and then I parred, and then had a double, and was about to double again, but then I had another par when we got to 12, and threw a nice one in there.
Yeah,
and, it was good. It was fun, man. It was good to get out. But when I tell you, I had to take a little ibuprofen.
That's not such a bad thing.
I had to take an ibuprofen to get out there. I was sore, bro.
Was that the extent of medical training in your NBA days? Stretch, ibuprofen, hot and cold?
Actually, it was worse. They used to have all these little, you know what happens when you deal with medications, right? So there's a lot of stuff that were prescribed to us, our team doctors and whatever. And when I tell you, years down the road, 10 years after you're retired, you're sitting there watching the TV at certain times of the day, and then you say, if you took Voltaren and blah, 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 then
you would be entitled to financial compensation.
I was like, thank you that I didn't, engross myself on that stuff, man, because, I'm serious. You start looking back and it's like, wait a minute, so I'm kind of careful about stuff I take, but ibuprofen's one that's pretty okay.
So guys, switching to Husker football here, it's been on paper not that exciting of a recruiting class.
You think
for Husker football on paper?
Okay.
When you look at recruiting rankings, when you look at offer lists,
we're in the top 25.
We're in the top 20. Nebraska's in the top 25 with more commits than a lot of other teams at this point. Now. So that's a big reason why Nebraska's in the top 15 actually for recruiting classes. Nebraska over the weekend, however, gets a 4-star wide receiver, 6 foot, 160 pounds is what he's listed at on 247sports.com. Ja'Cory Barney Jr. Out of Miami, Florida, chose the Huskers over the other two schools in his top 3, which were Miami and Texas A&M. 30 offers, according to 247 Sports, and obviously had the top 3 of Nebraska, Miami, and A&M. A couple of his other offers, Michigan, Minnesota, Tennessee, UCF, Utah, with some other ones. Maryland is in there. Arizona is in there. So a lot of times what we've seen in this recruiting class so far is some under-recruited guys that Nebraska is going and their staff is going to trust their evaluation and their ability to develop later on down the road. Now here we see a guy, which obviously they're going to still need to develop. It's not like he's a top 10 player, and even those guys need to develop, as we've seen with Turner Corcoran, as we've seen through Bryce Benhart, and a lot of other top talent that Nebraska has gotten. But here we have a guy with a pretty decent offer list, had a good top 3 as well at some named schools, and he chooses the Huskers.
When I look at those situations, I look a little bit broader. I don't look micro, I look macro, right? For me, it's what's the plan? And I will continue to revert back to Matt Rule's discussion about how he planned on going about it. Then I began to look at what I think is the potential successful plan. It hasn't played out. It has worked before, but it is something that I think this place here in Nebraska, the University of Nebraska, Big Red, it works for. You have a good group of guys that are foundation. That's the building. That's the building blocks. That's part of the, training them, getting them to become better by working on their skill set while they're here, but they stay the long term. Then there's the freaks, the athletes, the guys that you go and get. You may go get them from Florida. You may go get them from Texas. You may go get them somewhere else. I mean, I think they land the number. Also, one of our own legacy kids. You land the number 1 kid out of Montana.
That's right.
Which is a Clark, one of the Clarks.
Clark, yeah.
So
Son of
it's
former late running back Ken Clark.
So what I'm saying is, I like the method. There's a method towards the madness of what it looks like, and it was successful. If you can do that and have a foundation, then tie that on with athletes like out of Florida, like they used to do when you go get your Tyrone Williams, you go get your Tommy Frazier's, you go get the likes of them and bring them in, and then get them to buy in, gel with the program, and then you got them.
If you look at that class as a whole, I like the options that Nebraska is giving itself. I mean, Quinn Clark, 6'5", Gardner Nelson, Ian Flint, 6'4", Keelan Smith, if he stays on offense, 6'3" as a tight end, Davon Hall at 6'2", and then Mick Morris. And Barney's probably 6 foot, maybe a hair underneath that.
What's the kid from Virginia? He's also in that McMorris range.
Oh, Kemp?
Kemp.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you've got a good balance of those type of guys. Yeah.
Absolutely. So the guys I just listed are for the 24 class, so they're not going to be on the team this year. But I think if you get a good year out of Billy Kemp, like, hey, this is an idea of how we use you. Quick passes over the middle, get it to him in space, let him make a guy miss, and he's off to the races. I like the versatility, the variability. What we saw too much, I think, in previous recruiting class was all or nothing, right? You go all short, quick, water bug type of guys, or all big, tall, stiff, maybe not the fastest, but big catch radius type guys. I like the combination in this class. It gives you options. I love the competition that should happen between McMorris and Barney. Those guys should make each other better. They're not the exact same player, probably competing for a similar spot. So I like that Matt Rule's proven he can, stay in state and get those guys, but also to win a big one. I mean, I know Miami and A&M haven't been, world beaters by any stretch of the imagination. They've been better than Nebraska. They're closer to home. Miami is home for him, and you still go down there and find a way to get him. I think that's the versatility all the way.
I was going to say, so that's what's interesting. Just to kind of give some factual information here, Nebraska, Barney is Nebraska's second player in this class so far out of the state of Florida, joining Willis McGahee, the linebacker.
And that's some good stock.
He's from Miami, Florida as well, from Columbus High School down in Miami.
Good stock.
And Nebraska fans feel good about him because there was some concern there with his UCF official visit. It was a promise that he made to the UCF coach prior to his commitment to Nebraska. He wanted to keep his promise, but then he still visited Nebraska, and he's still committed to the Huskers as of right now. And that's the fourth wide receiver that Nebraska has also taken in this class, in Ja'Cory Barney, joining Davon Hall, Isaiah McMorris, and Quinn Clark. Quinn Clark. You also look at maybe a Carter Nelson. You wonder where he's going to line up. Is he going to be kind of that inline tight end where he's not going to be able to be, probably because of his size?
I like hybrid.
I like that as well. Sort of like a Janarian Bonner without the fullback piece of it. I see.
That's what I like. I would like to see.
Potentially,
hybrid,
potentially,
if he had the speed. Yeah.
But here's we talked about going into the state of Florida, right? And with that, this Sports Illustrated article, this is what it's headlined: "Recruiting shocker: Ja'Cory Barney selects Nebraska over Miami." And when it says, this is just a piece of the article from Sports Illustrated. It was written by Brian Smith of Sports Illustrated, and said, today, this was written yesterday, today was a lousy day for Miami Hurricanes recruiting. Losing a Miami public school player to the Nebraska Cornhuskers, though, that was unexpected. He says, so how does that happen? How does a school with Miami's wide receiver tradition, as well as proximity to Miami Palmetto High School, lose a prime wide receiver prospect to the Cornhuskers? And it says, for one, Nebraska prioritized Barney far earlier. So once again, we see this record, and we've seen Nebraska staff now, maybe more often than previous staffs, and this is not just a Scott Frost thing, staffs offering 2027 guys, offering 2026 guys, a plethora of them. We've seen a lot. I mean, so they've put in this groundwork and somewhat laid a foundation into those younger guys that you hope to pay off in situations like this.
If our boy Kenny was here, hope he's doing well up at Dakota Valley. Love the pictures he's posting on Twitter too.
I'm excited.
Kenny's in his element.
I am
It's awesome.
I am so excited to see how Dakota Valley does.
Yeah.
Anyways, if he was here, he would stress again the importance of relationships, of identifying early, of being genuine in the relationship. Because yes, the coaches are, looking for what they can get out of a player. What's their talent? What can they provide to the university? But you also have to be genuine in that relationship. That's a big jump to go from Miami to Nebraska. Those are not the same place, having been both places.
Also, Nebraska losing a lot of guys from Florida on the previous staff, nonetheless. But you think about all the guys they lost from the state of Florida, despite Travis Fisher having such deep roots there, and a lot of that coaching staff coming from UCF. You lost, guys, Henry Gray. You lost Keyshawn Green. You lost so many of those Miami guys before they even played a snap for you.
Yeah.
And so it's just, by the way, Noah Pola Gates transfers to New Mexico. He landed there today. So Noah Pola Gates is transferring to New Mexico. Just a little nugget there. All right, what's coming up on the block today, guys?
NBA.
A
lot of it.
Okay.
Four Huskers. Yeah, 4 Huskers in the Summer League. We'll touch on that. Delano Banton and signing. Dame Lillard. Did he request a trade? Did he demand a trade? Can Portland wait him out? Or is it actually Miami or bust like Dame said? Go through conference by conference, East and West, kind of break the biggest movers and shakers in terms of the deals and such on both sides of the NBA.
All right, cool. Good stuff, guys. Austin, thank you for sitting in for Rico.
Happy to do it.
Hope you guys had a great Monday so far. Hope you continue it by listening to 93.7 The Ticket on the block with Strick and Austin. That is just moments away. Have a great and safe and enjoyable, relaxing 4th of July. And we will be back here on Wednesday. I will be back here on Wednesday to talk to you guys about everything going on in the sports world. So once again, thanks to Husker softball assistant coach Olivia Farrell for joining us in the first segment. Thanks to Austin filling in for Rico. And
no popping bombs in the hands.
That's the plan.
No JPP.
That is the plan. So make sure you stick around on the block. Strick and Austin coming up next. We'll talk to you guys later. Have a good Monday.